We are a AB5 investment fund. We have our own regional centers. We're based in San Francisco and have offices in Miami, in Chicago, and in New York, and setting up an office in Delhi soon. That's our founding team and our key executives. Willie Brown, who was the first African American mayor of San Francisco and was the Speaker of the California Assembly for about 30 years. Very well-known personality in the Bay Area. He is also an attorney and very influential person in California. He has also been honored by changing the name of the Bay Bridge to his name, to Willie Brown Bridge. And Stephen Kay, who's ex-Berkeley alumni, he's our founder and our core CEO. He's been practicing law for 50 years, out of which 35 years has been in real estate law. So they understand between, very essential when you start looking at an EB5 investment, it's very critical that you look at the regional center you're going to be working with. It's essential that the regional center has a good track record of not only raising money, but also making sure that your money comes back to you. So if you look at us, we've been doing this for 12 years. We raised more than $700 million. Almost 1,400 investors, EB5 investors, 15 projects. No defaults in our projects. All our projects are approved. And very company as a group, we manage more than $1 billion, $700 million in the investment fund, the EB5 investment fund. We also run a real estate loan debt fund in the US, which handles about $400 million. We help our clients, investors, buy real estate once they move to the US. We have tie-ups with large developers there. And we also have a broker-dealer, a regulated securities broker-dealer. We are one of the very few companies who do that because of our representation, of our proof that we are registered with FINRA, which is the financial services industry regulator in the US. This is a licensed securities broker. What is the program? I know a lot of you have already heard a lot about the program, but just to give you a short recap. This was started in the EB5 program was started in the 1990s. It's one of the most successful programs for immigration in the US. It's raised more than $40 billion. Benefits is one of the fastest ways to achieve the green card and citizenship. You all know that if you take the H-1B route in the US, just getting a green card is more than 20-25 years. This way you tend to get your green card as early as a year. The fees, university fees tends to come down because they're considered local students. Better internship opportunities for existing students. Again, they don't want to waste money and time on these students. Like I said, you bypass the work lottery, the H-1B lottery. Today, the success rate in an H-1B lottery is only about 15%. This is the process. Very quickly, you need to hire a US attorney to document your source of funds. Once that's done, you invest $800,000 in a project with the regional center. The application for the green card gets approved in a time frame of 18 to 24 months. Some rural projects are getting approved in less than a year. Services that A, I've invested $800,000. B, that $800,000 went into an approved project, and that project has actually created 10 jobs for the investment I've made. How does the US Immigration Services get this information? We, as a regional center, will provide this information to you and to your immigration attorney, who then files again. Once this is filed, it takes about, between things improve, we are seeing an improvement, it will become slightly better. What we're doing currently, one is a project outside San Francisco. It's what's called an urban TEA, Targeted Employment Area Project. It's a developer we've been seeing for the last 25, 30 years, developing properties. They specialize in the Bay Area. They've done more than 30 developments, or an interest of 1% per year. The other project is a new project we started in Sun Valley in Idaho. It's a rural project. So you will have the benefit of your 20% set aside priority processing, etc. This is a hotel coming up, a boutique hotel, Michelin star restaurant, and a lot of conference space because it's very popular in summers for conferences. So these are the two projects. Two things you need to be careful when you're doing your EB5 investment. A, how do you select your regional center? Now there are more than 600 regional centers in the US. How do you decide where your money should go, and how do you make sure that you get your green card, your money coming back? So what is the priority of a regional center? It is, you have to ask these questions. Are cards are due? And are they independent? What we mean by independent is, how do you ensure that the EB5 regional center is itself developing its own projects? It has to be an arm's length. That's where what is the focus of the regional center? We as a regional center tend to be focused more on the Bay Area and in and around, because that's how we know that area very well. We are setting a project. Few things you should be careful about. This is purely part of information and education. How much of the equity that has the developer put himself? Now we try to ensure that the developer has at least 30% in this. He has to put his money in before we look at it. We tend to be between 25 and 30%, and the balance is actually a loan from another bank. Is all the financing in place? How will the developer pay back that money? If it is a 5-year loan or it's a 3-year loan, does he have funds to repay? You can't get your money back because the developer cannot refinance or repay. That is very important. And is there any penalty if the developer does not repay? So these are all part of our due diligence. We are very careful about that. Like I said, 15 projects. We haven't defaulted. So we have a 100% track record at this stage. And we have a large team in the US doing our due diligence. We've got almost 30 people in the US itself. That's about us. We are in the exhibition if you'd like to meet us. Any questions? Or do you have time for questions?
Do you have any questions? Anybody?
Yes, please.
Taking us through, and it's a really very good presentation. Thanks for giving your insights. One question I have, you mentioned that after investing you become member of your 3M fund. You mentioned the jobs are already being created.
For one of the projects.
For one of the projects.
Not all the projects, this particular project I spoke about.
Yes. So if we join that project, we don't need to get into creating the jobs, and we can can be the part of the process that you showcase.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this is a passive investment. We take care of the investment. So if I have, for that we created 70 jobs. So it's not that the other project will not create 70 jobs, but yes, from a comfort perspective, you know that one part of your immigration process cannot be challenged because the job creation has been done. So if your source of funds is fine, and the job creation is there, so the approval should come for the authorization for the conditional green card should come.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Job creation is only for locals or
Only US residents, yes. US passport holders.
And you said you have the passive investments.
Yes.
So what kind of benefit they derive from this?
Sorry, who?
The investors.
So the investor, there are two benefits. A, you get your green card, and secondly, you get a 1% return per year. Yes. So the way if I have time. So just to give you an example, the way it works is these are fixed term loans which go to the developer at a certain rate. Say the rate is about between 5 and 6% for the entire term of the loan. We pay you 1%. Our cost of raising this fund, this entire investment, including our legal costs and all, is about 2%, 2.5%. So what's left is about 1.5%, which we keep for ourselves.
The investment goes into escrow account?
It goes into an escrow. So what happens is we create a separate LLC, an SPV for this. Under that is an escrow account. So the money goes from your account to an escrow account, and as and when the developer needs funds based on certain conditions being met, the developer will pay it out. So the entire 800,000 does not go out upfront. And if we see that the developer is late we will not release the funds. Similarly, when